I heard your spiel about Mike McCarthy. And, I don't want to say that Mike McCarthy's old, but I think most people describe him as Fred Flintstone with a better car. Come on with that. You're giving me this whole thing about
old coaches,
the
Andy
old
Reid,
coaches.
Belichick, McCarthy.
And the only thing I'm going to say is when you use Andy Reid, you do have to win eventually. They didn't run him out of Philadelphia. He never won there.
Super Bowl, 5 NFC title games.
Did he win?
Oh, good Lord. Win what? He won the NFC East over and over and over and over.
But he couldn't win the big one. They had to move on.
The big one. You know what's big in the NFL? Every Sunday's big.
Just pass me a Fresca since you're reliving the old days with the old guys.
Okay, let's talk about the Cowboys this weekend. They host Seattle. They're favored. They have the better defense, the better personnel, home field advantage. They have better players. Russell Wilson's carrying undrafted Doug Baldwin, 7th-round running backs. Tyler Lockett was a punt returner. Does Dak Cowboys win at home?
They don't win. I'm picking Seattle in that game. I still think the Cowboys are fraudulent, straight up. And the stuff you talk about when you look at where their season was. Troy Aikman and other people, especially Troy Aikman, who's close to that Cowboys program, and you remember how bad it was. He said the whole thing needed to be blown up, and it was dysfunctional. And yes, they caught fire. The East was really bad.
Yeah.
The Eagles, went through their problems.
2-month problems, yeah.
Exactly, and the Cowboys seized the moment, and I'll give them credit. I'll never take away. But this is like one of the biggest games for Dak Prescott.
Oh, it's his biggest game.
It's his biggest game, and he must win. It's a must win. This franchise has won 2 playoff games since 1995. Wow. Think about that. Tony Romo couldn't get it done, and now Dak Prescott has to be able to win. They're 7-1 at home. If they don't win this game, the question marks and whether or not Dak is going to be able to be that guy. Now, if he plays well and they lose, it would be different. But if he doesn't deliver what they need him to do, which is to win and move on, I bet you there'll be more questions about whether or not this franchise is for real or not. I'm not convinced about Dak. Not convinced about the Cowboys, not convinced anything about that franchise.
Are you convinced the Steelers have to move off Antonio Brown, a remarkable talent who apparently is upset with Ben Tomlin and at this point doesn't want to practice, won't return calls and texts from teammates or coaches? What do?
No, I don't think they can afford to do that. You can't give up AB. Now look at what they did. They played chicken with Le'Veon Bell, and it cost them. People can remember everybody was ripping on Le'Veon. What did he accomplish, Colin? You know what he accomplished? First of all, he's going to get his free agency. He didn't get hurt playing, and James Conner, his understudy, wound up getting hurt playing running back for the Steelers. Steelers didn't make the playoffs, and if Le'Veon Bell was on that team, tell me they wouldn't have made the playoffs this year.
I believe they would.
He's a great player, and he does more than just run the football. Obviously, he can catch as well. So you can't have no Le'Veon, no Antonio Brown, right? And then an aging quarterback in Ben Roethlisberger. So I don't think that they really can afford to allow him to go anywhere. And with his contract, it would probably be too hard anyway.
You are from Detroit. Jim Harbaugh now does not have to face Urban Meyer. I can make the argument, I've been told, he would like to if he ever left. He's still in the peak of his coaching career for the next 8 to 10 years. He's going to continue to get great offers. They'll only be greater because now with Urban out, he probably wins the Big Ten on a fairly regular basis. What are you hearing? What is your gut feeling? Should he go to the NFL with 8 openings? Baker, Packers, Darnold. A lot of good openings.
I think he should go. I think he should go to the NFL.
As a Detroit guy.
Only from this standpoint. It's a lose-lose situation to stay at Michigan from this standpoint. If you beat Ohio State, you should. What's the big deal? Urban Meyer's not there. Urban Meyer beat you 4 times. No Michigan coach had ever lost to an Ohio State coach 4 times. None. Nobody in the history of the program.
4 straight?
4 straight. So if you win, right, you're not going to get all that credit because you only won after Urban Meyer. And God forbid you lose to the new coach Day. Then what? Are you still that genius? Have you watched Michigan's last couple of games? Terrible. I'm just saying they're not always going to call for you. At some point, they start to look and go, maybe he's not that guy. Well, maybe he can't get there if they don't win the Big Ten or they don't compete for a national championship.
Well, he's shown us a history, trigger finger, 4 years Stanford, 4 years 49ers, 4 years Michigan. I'm told that I said this yesterday. If he got a job at any of the 8 openings, ticket sales would go up in every one of those cities. This idea that he's wildly overrated, all I know is this. If USC had an opening, he'd be the leading candidate. He's arguably the leading candidate for 3 NFL current jobs.
Yeah, but a lot of that, I get it. Like he's one of those guys who moves the needles, but it doesn't always mean he has not won the big games, and that's what people are looking for. There's no way if I would have told you that he went to Michigan and 4 years had passed and he had a worse record than Brady Hoke against his rivals and he hadn't won a Big Ten yet, you would tell me I would be crazy.
That's fair. All right, Paul George and Oklahoma City come to Los Angeles tonight to take on the Lakers. LeBron's not playing. Paul George has now become the MVP of Oklahoma City, no question, as Westbrook's aging. Paul's playing the best basketball of his career. You have a theory on this. Why didn't he come to Los Angeles?
Well, I'll tell you, I think when this whole LeBron, L.A. Lakers, and no championships follow, I want you to go back to Paul George. Paul George will be the reason that the Lakers, it didn't happen for them. Because had he come, you remember, Colin, he spoke about coming back to L.A. for 2 years.
Yeah.
It was out there.
Yeah.
And even when OKC traded for him, people said, you guys are dumb. He's going to the Lakers. Why would you give up anything for Paul George? He's not going to stay. So when he decided that, okay, he wasn't coming, LeBron comes to L.A., he's from Palmdale, not that far from here, right? He decides, okay, he could come back. If they had him right now, they would be viable right now this year to have a shot in the Western Conference right now.
Well, yeah, because Oklahoma City wouldn't be the same team.
And
they'd be a clear number 2.
And you would also have the young players that you got through those bad years that you got through the draft. But now because he didn't come, you're going to have to wind up giving up some players to get that second guy. So say you don't win with LeBron, those 4 years come and go, you still won't have those young players who you had stockpiled from the bad years. So Paul George, remember this. He will be the reason. He's the king killer. He will be the reason the Lakers do not win a championship during the LeBron years.
By the way, LeBron said he was the greatest. What's that show called, Joy? The Shop?
No, it wasn't on the Shop. It was on his...
More Than an Athlete.
More Than an Athlete on ESPN.
Oh, okay, it's ESPN. He said he was the greatest. How'd that sit with you?
How in the world do you say that you're the greatest yourself or pat yourself on the back? It makes no sense. That's something other people say. Have you ever heard Michael Jordan say that?
No,
no.
I think you're best served in life having other people say that. I think that's a fair criticism.
And then even people say, well, Muhammad Ali used to say it. Boxing is a totally different animal.
It's an individual sport.
It's an individual sport, and it's also you have to be a salesman. You have to put yourself out there.
That's a good point. In boxing, I have to sell pay-per-views.
Right.
So Conor McGregor's obnoxious. Mayweather's obnoxious. Muhammad was just, I think he was a great marketer. In boxing, that's a very good point.
And think about this.
That's good.
With Muhammad Ali, it was always... people either loved Muhammad Ali or hated him.
Yeah.
He was a polarizing, and that's what you want to be. You know that.
Yeah,
You're
in boxing, I'm not polarizing.
No?
I'm lovable. My New Year's resolution is to be, yours was to lose weight. You lost like 60 pounds.
No, I didn't lose that. Come on.
You lost a lot of weight.
I did, but I'm feeling good. I'm not too skinny now.
A year ago, I put you on the set. You were a little pumpkin.
My pants were falling off. They were sagging.
Joey, what is your New Year's resolution?
It's kind of like yours, just to be nicer.
Yeah.
To be nicer.
Nicer.
You're already
nice. It's not
nice.
really a resolution.
You just got me. You got 10 seconds. What's yours?
To eat more chicken wings.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is.
Oh, it could be the best one I've ever heard.
Eat more wings.
I'm changing mine right now. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.